I am here in front of one of our properties, and today I want to talk about a very specific strategy: agreement for sale. An agreement for sale can be a really great negotiating tool when you're dealing with a seller that kind of wants to hold on to their price, but the income doesn't really quite meet that price. So we bought this property at 1.4 million, and the value today, so we transacted about a year ago, and we had it under contract on an agreement for sale a year before. So today the value of this property is about 3.1 million. Now the question is, why in the world would a seller do an agreement for sale? Like, why in the world would a seller sell me a 21 unit apartment building as an agreement for sale?
Purpose powerful enough will make you unstoppable.
Welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel. I'm the Godfather of Real Estate, and I am here in front of one of our properties, and today I want to talk about a very specific strategy: agreement for sale. And this is a really unique type of strategy. If I could explain it the best way, how could I explain it the best way? The best way would be, do you understand how a rent-to-own strategy works? And if you know how a rent-to-own strategy works, that's what this is. This property was bought exactly how a tenant buyer would buy a property using the rent-to-own strategy. So basically, it means that you take control of the property, and you get to collect all the rents, pay all the expenses, but title hasn't officially transferred, which means the existing seller still is holding on to the mortgage, which is why you would do it in the first place. And so an agreement for sale can be a really great negotiating tool when you're dealing with a seller that kind of wants to hold on to their price, but the income doesn't really quite meet that price. And so there's maybe there'll be a little bit of a gap, and maybe if you can do a few things to that property, maybe if you can improve the income, maybe if you can improve the performance of that property, you can actually get to the purchase price that the seller's looking for. So it's a really great way for the seller to sell their property at the price that they're looking for, and it's a really great way for the buyer to purchase that property, get an opportunity to increase the value of that property before actually transacting on that property. And so everybody wins here. Now the question is, why in the world would a seller do an agreement for sale? Like, why in the world would a seller sell me a 21 unit apartment building as an agreement for sale, right? And so you need to understand that you have to do a proper discovery with your seller. Why do they want to sell? What is the motivation? What helped in this situation, it was a private sale. And so I always talk about creating deal flow for yourself. And a lot of the trainings that I do, I help people buy real estate off market. And if you're buying real estate off market, that means you're not going to the same watering hole as everybody else. And if a seller is really married to that purchase price, you can be in a position, thinking outside the box, to actually give that seller exactly what they want and take over the property. So this is what we did. 21 units, we took over this property. We took over the income, we took over the expenses. We did negotiate one payment every single month, just like a rent to own that we would give to the seller. I think it was about $6,500, and that $6,500 covered the seller's mortgage, insurance, and taxes. Okay, and so we took over the income, we took over all the management of the units. We were able to improve the performance of the property. So by the time we actually closed on it a year later, the property was worth more than what we originally had it under contract for. So we bought this property at 1.4 million, and the value today, so we transacted about a year ago, and we had it under contract on an agreement for sale a year before. So today the value of this property is about 3.1 million. So we were able to secure a really amazing deal using this strategy, agreement for sale. You guys gotta look into it. Okay guys, so let's go have a look at the property. Let's do a little tour. Follow me. I see that. Like, what are we doing over there?
Oh, so there was, that's where the water all pooled, remember?
Oh, yeah.
It was down lower, and then
Yeah.
Jeff just backhoed it out last year,
Beautiful.
leveled it off,
Yeah.
and then put the seed down. But all of those window wells were cracked, so he fixed those.
Beautiful.
And then we were gonna re-cement the walkway,
Yeah.
but we don't need to now that it's graded properly. So
Nice.
that's all done. And then the steps, the broken step over here,
Yeah.
we had looked at getting it repointed and redone. But what we're actually going to do this year is we're going to remove the step.
Yeah.
Jeff can get the machine and take away the step, and then he's also a welder, so he's going to put the
Of course.
the railing. That's what he does. And we're going to fix the siding.
Yeah.
So all of this is the stucco is cracking.
Yeah.
So we'll be able
Beautiful.
to go up and redo it,
Yeah.
and then match and repaint.
Beautiful. So where's the unit we did in here? Okay.
It's the one that you took pictures of last time.
No. I think it was in there.
No, it's this one.
Was it this one?
This is the one that had the checkerboard wall and the red paint on it.
No, it was not there.
It was here.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how I see things.
This is why you don't do it.
I just come and take pictures.
Yeah, just come and take pictures. You don't know. Yeah.
Oh wow. I already can see the floor.
Remember this one?
Yeah. Oh
So,
wow.
New floors.
So this is the one that we came at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
When all the clothes were in the closet.
Yes.
Remember?
So I have really good before pictures and videos. So we'll capture those.
Wow. Oh my God.
They love their colors.
Wow.
They love their colors.
Oh.
What? How do they do it?
Painted it. It's scraped straight off.
Oh.
It feels like the bathroom of a nightclub.
Yeah.
Just need to put the horse trough in there.
Okay. Hey, look, they have. This is gonna be a bitch. This is gonna be. You gotta scrape all of this off.
This isn't going to be that bad to get off.
Oh, really?
I had to do this at Sam's unit.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
Mikey had stuff
Yeah.
over his window.
Yeah. Okay.
The razor blade, you know,
Okay.
Comes
But
right
how does it end up?
beautiful, like it's clean glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's going to take some time. But no,
Yeah. This.
That is such a fire hazard. Oh man. Look at that grease and shit in there on the stove.
Thank you.
Well, at least she's gone. Anybody need boxes? I don't touch the boxes until we talk about this.
Nice and clean. Look at that. Pizza.
want a slice?
Yeah.
Guys, we could have a toast.
January 1st. Happy New Year. Safety is important.
We could have a party in the bathroom. Wow.
Okay, so change over.
It's like 4 coats of paint.
Yeah.
A ton of patching. A ton of patching. New floors, new kitchen. Oh wow, these are done.
Yeah, so we read.
I came up here
Well,
at 6 o'clock the other morning
Oh, they're beautiful.
Nice.
Refinished, new handles.
Oh yes, it was here. I remember. It was all the stuff. It was all the stuff here.
Remember? Yes.
Yeah. Nice. So I will show you the befores. I'll show you the befores. We have it.
Yeah.
Nice. I love the floors.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, new color.
Wow.
That was the checkerboard wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a pink heater. But this is what you're going to get a kick at.
Oh my.
Red tub.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Great job.
It's not done yet.
Yes.
I got one more coat to do on it. And then,
So this was the one that we couldn't take out.
well, we could have, but it was
Yeah.
a big box.
Yeah.
So what I did was we stripped it.
Yeah.
And then sanded it and prepped it and redid the whole thing.
Beautiful.
Looks like
Yeah.
brand
Looks-
new.
I got one more coat yet.
Nice.
It was.
Yeah.
This was all
So,
taken away.
so this is what I was saying at one of our other properties is the hardware. Once you change the hardware, it makes a huge difference because that's what people touch all the time, you know?
New handles, new lights.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't
New
do
lights,
this right.
everything.
Yeah, good. Beautiful.
All new switches, all new switch covers.
Yeah.
They're all tamper resistant as well.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than going into a place and then seeing those little toggles that look like they're from 1950.
Yeah, no,
Like,
you
this is clean. It looks
Yeah.
nice and new.
yeah. Well, that's what we were just at another property. We were saying that, you know, just invest in in hardware, paint, nice flooring. It makes a huge difference.
Do you remember the window, the way it had all that stained glass?
Yeah. Oh man.
And that peeled it off, like sticker by sticker.
The church window.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
we have tenants moving in next week. A very cute couple who cried when they came in here. They loved it.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, well,
That's that one.
I wanted to get a look at the back. All right. I'm just gonna go in the back there. So, what I want to show you guys is when we took over this property, the balconies were really in rough shape, and the first thing we did, the first capital expenditure we did, was fix all the balconies. Number one, what do you want to do when you take over a property? Well, you want to make sure that things are safe, clean and neat, but very specifically safe, okay? You don't want to create liabilities for yourself where someone could get hurt. And these balconies were really in bad shape. And so, if you see, we're still replacing, right? So we're just changing out. There's a lot of old wood. So what was really rotten, like people, like when we took this over, we were surprised someone didn't take a header right off, right through the floor here. So we changed the rotten wood, and there's still a lot of work to be done that we need to replace. So basically, what we do is we take, instead of trying to tear down the whole thing, because that can, number one, is costly, and by code you have to have an engineer with plans to, you know, and you need them approved, and that's going to cost a fortune. So what we did is just replace the old wood with new wood, and then we slowly are going to replace all the rotten wood, and slowly we'll eventually get a whole new balcony, right? Because some parts of it are still okay. So if you can see, we did the whole thing. So close to, I think it was close to 70,000, but you'll see that we did the whole thing. See, this one was okay, so we kept this one. Then we replaced this here. You see, this one is still solid. This here the pillar that was here was completely rotten. We took that away, put a new one.
So what else are you looking for when like stuff like this? Like I see there's power lines here. You're worried about the trees, neighboring trees.
Yeah, so we had to trim a lot of the trees that were here because they were like branches and stuff were overtaking. So if you were to come back here like a few years ago, you would see that it was like, first of all, these balconies, these landings were completely covered, so they were like enclosed, and people had all of their stuff. Obviously, that's the only, like, they use it as storage, and then all the trees and everything was leaning against those balconies, so it was completely unusable space. So we just opened it up, you know, and we look for things that we want things to be safe.
And so when you're buying buildings like this, in regards to the foundation and stuff, what are you looking for? Like besides kind of cracks and things?
Well, the best way to see the foundation is to go on the inside. So I will never buy an apartment building that I cannot see the inside units. And basically you get a moisture meter, and you can test the bottom of the floor to see if there's any moisture, and then you can see if there's any water penetration that's gone into the foundation. You know, it's natural for the earth to shift, and for properties to shift, and things to you know, you start seeing some cracks. So there's hairline cracks, and then there's like cracks you can park a Buick in. And so like this is parging, right? Like when you're looking at a property, you see things like this is just a crack in the parging. It doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong with the foundation. The only way to really know is to bring a foundation expert to assess the foundation. But from a quick due diligence perspective, if you go on the inside and you bring a moisture meter and you test if there's moisture there more than usual, then you'll know that there's been some water penetration.
And what about plumbing and stuff?
Plumbing is important. So you gotta, once you go into the mechanical room, there'll be some exposed areas where you can see existing plumbing. You're not gonna see the plumbing, you can't go into the walls, right? One thing that you can do is, when you're walking a property, you can test all the water as you're walking through the property, where you'll see the pressure, the water pressure. You can hear the sounds in the walls of plumbing. If you can have access to exposed areas, or go underneath the sinks to see how the age of the plumbing is, if it's galvanized plumbing, I would stay away from it. Number one, it's hard to get insurance, and it's going to cost a fortune to try to replace. The problem with the galvanized plumbing is that they're probably in older properties that are built before 1980 or 70s or 60s, and what you're going to have is there was materials used in those time periods that are very toxic now. Case in point, asbestos. And if they're by the way, there's nothing wrong. An older property that's built in the 70s is going to have asbestos in the wall. And as long as you don't disturb it, it's going to be fine. But if you have to open up the walls to get to the plumbing, you need a special team to come in here to take away the debris because of the asbestos. And so now you're getting into big money, and unless you're planning to gut the whole thing, you'll never see that money back. So you really got to be careful. The plumbing, electrical is another issue that a lot of people have when they try to get into an apartment building like this, and the electrical is outdated, and you have to get into the walls. You're gonna have problems. So you want to make sure you bring a proper electrician to give you an inspection. Get a plumber in here, get an inspector in here, get as many people as possible, because you buy it once and then you're going to be owning it for a very long time. So, you know, don't get lazy up front, and do all the due diligence.
How do you find those guys? Are they part of your team? Are they people you really rely on?
So,
how do you find those guys?
Because we're buying all across the country, you have to go and build those relationships. The best thing that we find is, if you can find other investors in those areas, they're probably like your quarterback, right? a good real estate agent, you make a connection with a really good investor-focused real estate agent, he's like your quarterback because he's seen a lot of these properties. He's probably has access to a lot of people locally, and because we are coming from outside, because we're investing across North America. For example, if I'm investing in Arizona, if I'm investing in California or BC, Alberta, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to build my team, and I'm going to make sure I make contact. So I guess the formula that we have, and if you see that the majority of our properties are 16 units and up, and there's a very specific reason why we do that, because 16 units and up, there's enough cash flow there to hire a super on site. And if you have a super on site, you don't need a property management. You can manage the super. And so the formula that we have is that we know that every human being should be able to manage 300 doors as long as there's a super on site. And so that's easy for us to calculate. And so that super on site, along with the team that we built, we should be able to manage things from Vancouver, or, you know, it doesn't really matter as long as we follow that formula. And we will be bringing more content like this to this channel, the Canadian Real Estate channel. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to read below. You're going to have all the information how to find me, and hit the bell to get notified every time we're doing a video. Guys, we love it here, the Canadian Real Estate channel. We'll see you next time.
Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified the next time we're doing a video. And guess what? Like, share, dislike, I don't care! Let me see how that looks.